you want to check these labs, okay? Because it's going to give you some information about the extent of the hard problem that they're dealing with. So look at these are the most important cardiac labs to check. So your troponin first, okay? And then your CPK-MB, your CK-MB, this one here, that's going to be important. And then the propeptin is not as significant. The myoglobin is also important. It's not going to help identify whether the person is having an MI, but it will show early signs of cardiac damage. Okay? So it's good in that way, but it's not going to be a definitive in terms of an MI. So when you're looking at cardiac, I want you to make sure that you understand troponin, the CK-MB, your myoglobin, and those particular labs. There is so much here. I'm going to be skipping fast, guys. I'm sorry. Additional blood studies looking at your C-reactive protein is also a marker for inflammation when it comes to an MI. C-reactive. And then your 3 types of cardiac natriuretic peptide markers are right here. So this is a good slide to pay attention to. Your ANP, your BNP, and your C type. Okay? Those are the three peptides that's going to be important. A lipid. Serum lipids, when we talk about cardiovascular, you got to look at your triglycerides, your cholesterol, your lipoprotein. These are all reflective of the cardiovascular system. So when someone you know for sure has a cardiac, look at these particular labs, okay? And your triglycerides are the main storage form of lipids, 95%. I think you know when we look at the lipoprotein, we look at the LDL and the HDL. Which one of the two is most important?
HDL.
Important for what?
Well, in terms of identifying major aspects of particularly your cholesterol.
LDL.
There you go. That's what I want. You got it. All right. So I'm going to stop there with that. Let me see what else. There's so much stuff. The diagnostics, I think you get, we've got to do some pretty extensive besides looking at the lab. We want to look at some other elements too that gives us much more of a definitive understanding about the heart. But that's kind of like all I want you to know there. I got them all pulled up here, guys. This one is hypertension. I think you guys studied, did you study that in foundation?
Not specifically.
Okay, let's see what we can do. I think we talked about hypertension kind of throughout. So let's hit on that because it's a big factor, risk factor in our society. And it relates to a number of other significant problems, like your MI, stroke, okay, heart failure, which you're going to get an answer to, so I'm not going to go into heart failure. But again, these are important elements that relate to hypertension. So the basic, again, you see 83% of people greater than age 20 have hypertension. Blood pressure, cardiac output, and your systemic vascular resistance. Factors influencing blood pressure is quite a bit. So this is a good schematic view of it. Factors influencing blood pressure, baroreceptors, chemoreceptors we talked about in the pathophysiological sense. It plays a part in the renal system, in your vascular system for sure. Endocrine system as well. No. I think it's good for understanding for down the road for insights, but not really. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see if you can get this. The nurse determines that the patient has stage 2. There are stages of hypertension when the patient's average blood pressure is now. Select all that apply. So, which of these do you think are applicable?
CDE.
CDE. Very good. All right. Primary hypertension, which is 90 to 95% of your cases, that's why it's such a huge problem. Secondary hypertension. So what I want to know is the difference between primary and secondary. Okay? So 12, 13, make sure I've got specifics at the bottom for you. All right? To be able to identify, because I could give you a question, and then I want you to identify, is it primary or is it secondary? Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to quickly just, because I want to use some critical thinking. CS is a 40-year-old male which is a community health screening. He states that he has not seen a healthcare provider in a really long time. We don't know what that means. He is a truck driver who eats mainly fast food while on the road. What are some identifying factors here that is critical to this case?
Poor diet.
Just from what you read here.
Poor diet.
Yes. The age, the fact that he has not seen a provider in a very long time, I think that means years. And then he's a truck driver. Exactly. Hereditary, yes. And then he eats. So, what do you think he's at risk for? Oh, so much. Yes. Very good. Yes, I would say at risk for all of this. He's in a bad situation. Okay. So, now we're going to ask most of Dr. today. He says for just something to do. Now, this is much more attributed to what all the stuff you guys said, for sure, is smoking. Okay? During the so he's smoking constantly. All right? Isn't that interesting?
Oh my God.
So get this. Now we assessment and get it 200, and someone said obesity. Very good. Obesity. And then look what the blood pressure is. We're talking both systolic and diastolic. So what risk factors for hypertension? Well, look at this. Obesity, tobacco, stress. Yeah. Gender makes a difference. Excessive dietary sodium that he's taking in on the fast food. And then his lifestyle. So yes, he's at a great risk. Poor guy. So risk factors. He fits all of them, I think. Age, alcohol, so you need to know these. That puts them at a risk. Gender makes a difference. because it's more prevalent in young adults and middle-aged men. Okay? So, again, all of these sort of social, we don't know about socioeconomic, but that could be a factor for others. But he has quite a few of these, which puts him at a great risk. I just kind of wanted to go through those. I want you to understand that the genetic link for hypertension. Okay? Children and siblings of persons with hypertension should be screened. Water sodium retention needs to deal with that, so particularly with hypertension. Primary hypertension causes increased vasoconstriction, so your heart rate is elevated, so is your retin released from your kidneys. Okay? So, yes, I don't want you to know the RA, you don't need to know all of that. Just trying to hit on some highlights. I need you to understand hypertension is called a silent killer for whom? Actually, the women. I caught you there. Yes. So these are secondary symptoms. Include these are what they are, but they could be attributed as well as to the other ones. So I just wanted to put that. Target organ diseases occur most frequently. These are your primary ones. We're going to talk about the heart, the lungs, and the kidneys for sure. And then diagnostics for hypertension. Well, you might think, well, diagnostics for yes, there are some. We're going to look at your labs for sure, and we want to include the urine acid level. Okay? So measure the blood pressure first, get a little history, urinalysis, your BUN. What's the normal? Does anybody know what the normal BUN is? I'm going to see. I do this. And I'm going to do it with you guys because I'm getting you prepared. Normal BUN.
7 to 20?
Oh, that's very good. He said 7 to 20. I usually say kind of judge around 10 to 20, but 7 to 20 is good. I'll accept that. But I'm going to really take what the book says. Very good. What about the creatinine? Anybody know? These are common labs that what is?
That's gravity.
Probably a little high.
For males, it's 97 to 127, and for females, it's a little lower.
Well, the creatinine. Look at the back of the lab. See what it says on creatinine. 1.6. Somebody say 0.6 to 1.2. Now, I want you to start to. I'm at. What is it? 0.6. Okay. So I want you to start to learn these basic labs because when you're caring for your patients, you're gonna see them a lot. And you want to have a greater appreciation for what the reflection they are to your patient and what that means. So what you're starting to do is make connections. Okay? Diagnosis, labs. You're making connections so you have a greater understanding about where your patient is with your disease process. Are they in a mild state or are they in a severe state? Okay? So that's going to start to appreciate that, start to critically, don't just go and you're there and you write this stuff down. Try to understand it. Okay? Because it really makes better for critical thinking and actually with the testing. Okay? Very good. I'm sorry. I wish I had more time. Dash. Anybody knows what that stands for? The diet change for these papers, each patient. Lifestyle modification. And it's not Mrs. Dash. But but it's reflective of the fruits, vegetables, fat, and so it's giving you, it's a diet that's used to lower the person's blood pressure. So, look that up, DASH, to know exactly what it is. Okay, diet, so yes, we want to reduce the sodium because that's going to be reflective of an improvement on the kidney. Okay. Drug therapy and patient teaching. Remember I said on my list I gave you patient teaching. So, what do you think we need to teach the patient, like Mr. C.S.? Oh. I think he needs to get another job. If possible. But change his diet.
Lifestyle.
Get some exercise, lose some weight.
Stop smoking.
Stop smoking for sure. So, smoking cessation. What did I hear over here? What did I hear over here? Yes. And manage his stress. That is true. Now, some of those things we mentioned are modifiable. Most of, I think, are modifiable. He can modify his lifestyle, and he would do much better, and increase his lifespan. Okay. So I'm not going to go through this. Okay. Reasons for poor adherence. Why don't people do that? Well, could be maybe they're just not. They don't have enough education to understand. The connection between their health and their lifestyle. That's right. Very good. Return. So high cost of drugs and lack of insurance. That's a big one in today's world. Lack of insurance. Poor access to health care. Okay. Measures to enhance that compliance. So when you are working with patients to try to help them, you got to make it individualized. You could get a question. I could give you a question about, in reference to this, about getting a patient to change what they're doing that's not helping them. In a sense, exercise. Now, what's going to be important in reference to that is to include them in on that. Don't give them something that you just think, that I want you to walk 3 miles a day. What are the chances of that happening?
None.
You've got to be, it has to be realistic. So what you want to do is choose the answer that includes them in on the plan. So then they are telling you, okay, here's what I can do starting out. I'll walk half a mile. You know what I'm saying? Don't throw something at them that you know they're not going to be able to do. So allow them to help with that plan. And that's what I mean about active patient participation. Avoid involved caregivers. So, you know, if the wife is cooking and she's cooking all of that fat stuff, we got to get her involved as well. So patient teaching is important. Nursing evaluation. So when you're studying, again, keep in mind about the nursing process. A patient's blood pressure has not responded consistently to prescribed drugs for hypertension. The first cause of this lack of responsiveness the nurse should explore is, now, is this a positive question or a negative?
Positive.
It's a negative.
Okay.
Because it says the first cause of this lack of responsiveness the nurse should explore is the possibility of drug interaction. No. Patient not adhering. Yes. So the answer is C. The answer is C. Now, I want to get the appreciation, because I really want you to do well on the exam. When I say the answers in the question, what's in that question that should lead you to see?
Consistently.
That's it. So many times, guys, the answer, 9 out of 10, the answer is in the question. If you can just understand what that question is saying, that fits the choice, particularly if it's multiple choice, not select all out of the box. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's why I say look at it first in a test taking strategy test. Is it a positive or negative? And then look at what is this question about? Because the answer is right there that's going to match the choice that you pick. Okay. I think that's all I have on that. Okay, guys? You got it? Good. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm taking out, well, on here, it says chapter 34, but there's no 34. There's no 34. On your course outline. I'm taking out 36. Now, what I mean by that is, what do I mean?
No, go over it for the hefty.
But not for the exam.
Yes, but yeah, I'm going to keep asking you that because I don't want to get into trouble.